Mini episode 1238 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1238. I'm FDH managing partner Rick Morris here with our preview of Billions episode 5.6. Here's our top 5 notes of interest heading into the season's 6th episode. Number 5. With their divorce still being finalized, both Chuck and Wendy have moved on already. Wendy still seems to be figuring out what the deal with Nico is going to be, but Chuck's already all in with his new squeeze, even having sex like a boring suburban Normo. Good for him. Number 4. Speaking of her pairings, Wendy's business one with Taylor has now been cemented. Contrary to what we thought last week, Axe actually had no problem sharing Wendy with this venture. It took some doing to set up the compensation structure and staffing, but now that everything's in place for the reconfigured Mace cap, we'll see if Taylor regains any of that lost mojo. Number 3. Chuck remains unparalleled at performing favors for people that he needs to do a favor for him. The New York bank regulator was putty in his hands once he employed Connerty's brother to obtain the desired wedding ring, even willingly absorbing a punch from Brian in the process. Axe is still in the early stages of digesting what having an enemy like Chuck, again, will do to his ambitions. Number 2. Banking CEO Wags, really? With an all-time great supporting character like Mike Wagner, it's easy to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this season's dalliances with becoming a new man, first with his delusion about becoming a good dad if given another chance, and now his desire to be a banking honcho, are fascinating to witness. But just as we see that he'll never be a man able to break his patterns, so too will Axe Cap be unable to fit into the stay-at-banking world. They may destroy a competitor and eventually end up with their license, but they'll never achieve the respect that is supposed to accompany the designation. Number 1. Speaking of patterns that don't change, behold Chuck and Bobby's daddy issues. Chuck's have been on blatant display from day one on this show, and Rhodes Sr.'s brush with death just brought them to the forefront even more. But the abusiveness of Axe Sr. and his role in molding a self-professed monster has just come to light, an interesting if dubious creative choice, and now we peel back another layer on the billionaire who frankly was becoming a one-note caricature this season. Of course, if either Chuck or Bobby had any interest in breaking the tragic pattern, they'd stop being absentee dads to their own kids, but that ain't gonna happen. Instead, they'll keep trying to fill that hole within themselves by stealing the soul of their enemy, not realizing that the other guy doesn't have one either, and so it goes. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.